Please be advised, if you have not seen the movie that is about to be reviewed in this video, stop this video right now, go and watch the movie and then come back, because there are going to be massive plot spoilers throughout the course of this video. Hey one and all, and welcome back into the video vault. We've got another fun review for you this time around. We have 28 Me, come on! Again, this is usually when my tongue stops working. We have 2018's Ant-Man and the Wasp, once again released by Marvel Studios. Again, starring Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, and Michael Douglas, but also starring Michelle Pfeiffer and Lawrence Fishburne. Before we dive into this review though, if you like what you see on this channel, then you click on that subscribe button, you hit on that notification cowbell, and you select the all, so you know when new videos are going to be unleashed upon the world. Anyway, now that spiel is over, so yes, Ant-Man and the Wasp is the sequel to the 2015 smash hit that was Ant-Man. This movie takes place 2 years after the events of Captain America Civil War, which sees our protagonist Scott Lang currently towards the tail end of his house arrest due to, the previously said Captain America Civil War, being in Germany with Cap and fighting the other Avengers in violation of the s.h.i.e.l.d. Accords. So, if you haven't watched Captain America Civil War, the first part of this is going to be, what's he talking about? s.h.i.e.l.d. Accords? What? Why is he under house arrest? Why is this? Why is that? Do yourself a favor and watch Captain America Civil War if you haven't already. So anyway, the one of several plots in this movie, firstly, is around the, again, Scott being under house arrest and pretty much not being in contact at all with Hank or Hope, because they hate his guts after taking Hank Pym's shrink tech over to Germany and getting himself in all sorts of trouble. One of the main plot in this movie though is trying to resurrect Hank's wife Janet from the quantum realm. We learned a little bit about it in the first Ant-Man movie, so it's pretty interesting sort of thing. We've also got a couple of other plots in there as well. One being the villain of the movie, Burch, who's trying to do whatever he can to get his hands on Hank Pym's magical shrinking lab to sell for billions and billions of dollars to the right buyer so he can make a bucket load of coin, as well as Ghost, who is trying to get her life back on track and put an end to the quantum phasing that is pretty much killing her, that she's had to deal with for 20 plus years. You got all that. There's a lot that goes on in this movie. There's also a couple of running gags that take place as well, including Scott's Ant-Man suit constantly malfunctioning at perhaps probably the worst times imaginable. Like, he can't shrink, he can't enlarge, he just is caught in this constant up, 1 minute is this, and it's automatically, he shrinks down, and then it's quarter shrunk and whatever. It's just the way that it is. But Ant-Man and the Wasp is very entertaining. So yes, Scott Lang is under house arrest because of his involvement in Captain when my tongue stops working, Captain America Civil War. You know, there's going to be one day I'm going to be able to do one of these videos and just speak with absolute ease. I'm not going to go or because my blacking. It's just going to be constant flow throughout. I do know how to speak, so I just don't know why my tongue decides, nah, you know what, I'm gonna stumble and yeah. But yes, so Scott Lang is under house arrest. He's coming up to the end of it, and has sort of had a little bit of a dream in the bathtub, like that, you know, ended up having some form of contact or connection with Janet while he was down in the quantum realm, and this results in Scott obviously contacting Hank. He just leaves a voice message saying, "Hey, you know, I don't know if this is your number or not, but I've had this weird dream." It's like, you know what, it's probably nothing. But Hope ends up tracking him down, and we finally, you know, obviously, you know, she and Hank have been on the run for 2 years, and the only biggest threat that they've ever had is Scott, and they've been pretty much watching everything that he's been doing throughout the whole time of his house arrest. And this is where, you know, we get the exposition where they've sort of come up, you know, because Scott's come back from the quantum realm. Maybe there's a slight chance we might be able to rescue Janet from there and, you know, get everything back on track. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. There's a special part they need, which is where then we get introduced to protagonist and antagonist numero uno, which is this Burch dude who's, as I said, you know, he's wanting to try to get Hank Pym's lab so he can sell it for buckets and buckets of ducats. There's this we have this really cool fight sequence throughout the whole restaurant. It's beautifully shot, where Hope is just constantly shrinking and unshrinking, fighting these goons off and trying to get her hands on the parts that they need. And there's this really cool scene in the kitchen where one of the dudes just starts throwing knives, and we see Hope just run along the blade and then, you know, knock the guy out. And it's a fun sequence. This is also where we get introduced to Ghost for the first time as well, which is a really cool introduction. It was like, you know, what the hell is that? But you know, what's this strange thing? And it's all really well. That whole sequence is really well done. This whole movie in itself is a lot of fun. Like, we get Scott obviously, you know, reconnecting with Hope and Hank throughout the course of this movie, you know, taking everything that he's done into account. And of course, you know, he and Louise are, you know, getting their security company off track, and it turns out, you know, oh no, you know, the days from going broke and things are going wrong, and it's just a really, it's so well written. It is so well shot. Again, every time, you know, there's a bit of suspicion about what Scott is up to. The FBI come to his house, they scope it out, but everything's, you know, everything's hunky-dory, and they're like, oh damn, I thought I had you this time, but you know, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna get you. You're gonna be, you know, locked up. And of course that doesn't happen, does it? The way it all goes, we get this both wonderfully shot and choreographed chase scene down the streets of San Francisco. involving not only Burch but also Ghost, as well as they're trying to get the lab from Scott, Hope, and Louise to, like, cause, you know, for one, Burch is just seeing dollar signs everywhere, and as far as Ghost is concerned, she's just seeing, you know, oh, this'll, you know, help me survive. This is going to help me live. But anyway, we are also introduced to a former colleague of Hank's, Bill Foster, who used to work with him in s.h.i.e.L.D. Now, he is brilliantly portrayed by Lawrence Fishburne, who has made the jump from DC to Marvel, as is Michelle Pfeiffer, who has made the jump from DC to Marvel. What do you mean by that? I hear you asking already. 1992's Batman Returns. Michelle Pfeiffer played Catwoman. Yeah, so she's made the jump from DC to Marvel. So did Lawrence Fishburne, who in Man of Steel and Batman v Superman was the editor of the Daily Bugle newspaper, Perry White. I don't know why I've got Barry White suddenly on my brain. Maybe I was watching just The Simpsons and had that episode of Barry White. Leave all the snakes alone. Off topic. I know. But yeah, Hank ends up saying, you know, I'm the one that's going to go down into the quantum void. I'm the one that's going to find and rescue Janet, which he does. And like, even the imagery that they used for the quantum realm is absolutely incredible. Like, all the contrast, all the different tones of colors and everything they use in there, all the effects, like, you know, sort of like Hank's little descent into madness, and sort of a little bit of a flashback, I guess, in a way. It's like being back in Hank's house, and, you know, there's Scott, there's Hope, there's Bill, and then, you know, here comes Janet, who ends up, you know, finding him. And it's a really, really cool way that they've done it all. I really think we see the wonderful Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco. Again, this is where Scott's suit issues come into play. Like, he's trying his hardest to, you know, retrieve the lab from Burch, but he's like, can't just get it right because of the right. He thinks he's got it, and then, you know, it'll malfunction and he'll grow, or he'll, you know, shrink back down to ant size or whatever. But he finally gets it right. We get a similar sort of thing in that we did with in the original Ant-Man with the death of Ant Death, but compared to Anthony, like, it's not as impactful. This time he's just like trying to summon various other ants that are just, you know, kept getting gobbled up by seagulls. It's actually really funny just hearing. It's like, oh, come on, not cool, man, murderers, and all this. He finally gets onto an ant, but it's very short-lived because that gets gobbled up, and he falls into the ocean, and then grows huge, like 60 some odd feet. He gets the lab back from Burch and puts it on land, and ends up saying, oh, the air's really chunky, I'm going to fall asleep for 5 minutes. So he falls backwards into the bay. We get this big, you know, wave covering people who are on the wharf. And by this time, Ava's gotten there, and she's increased the lab to its full size. Hope manages to get his, what do they call it, his regulator working properly, just enough just to, like, get everything sort of back to normal, and basically save Scott and this is where, you know, we get the final scene. We've got Burch and his goons are like trying to muscle in Louise, like, you know, well, you've pretty much done your purpose. We're basically going to kill you now. But his two comrades come up behind and, you know, taser them and put them down. Now there is another running gag besides Scott's suit not working. It is the truth serum. Although originally, like, they kept saying it's not a truth serum. It's not truth serum. This is like when they're trying to get information out of Louise where Hope and Hank are hiding. It's like, this is Usman, you know, he's got this wonderful, you know, sedative that's going to get, you know, all the information out of you. It's like, oh, that's truth serum. It's like, it's not truth serum. It's like, yeah, it's totally truth serum. It's not truth serum. And eventually, like, after getting tased, obviously Louise uses it on Burch and his two goons, one of them being Usman, and like spilling out all this information of everything that they've done. And Usman just looks to the side, sees the syringe and everything lying there next to him, and just goes, "It is truth serum." Like, he just realizes, like, wow, it actually is a truth serum. Like, it is this thing I've been saying it wasn't. And I thought that was really, really funny. As well, we've got the big climax where Scott and Hope are battling with Ghost to give Hank and Janet time to come out of the quantum realm and try to resolve everything, really, and what's going on. Janet sort of assists Ghost a little bit with helping her, you know, stop with her quantum phasing that's, you know, killing her to hopefully sort of prolong her life. We have the cops and everyone coming in, like, we've got them now. And, you know, Scott comes in with some misdirection. I was like, oh, giant figures, blah, 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 is at this location. They go there. They keep thinking of Scott, but it's just the empty suit. It's just pressed up against this building. Scott's run off home because he knows, oh crap, you know, if I'm not here when they inevitably come and raid my house, like, I'm totally screwed. And then we get some misdirection of the main cop who's been on Scott's case the whole time, Wu. He's just gone magic, like, it's just like, oh my god, you know, it's classic misdirection, like, we've got to get to Lang's house now. And they're walking through, like, he's not here, and then, you know, there's the big reveal. He's just on the electronic drums, just playing away. It's like, oh, hey, is my 2 years up already? So that was a very, very funny moment. There's also this really, really cool escape sequence as well, when after Hope and Hank get captured by the FBI. Is like they're trying to devise this way of, like, how they're going to get out, and then all of a sudden, you know, Hope's suit just appears on the table. He's like, Scott, is that you? It's like, yeah, it's me, come on. And we just hear Hank go, well, what about me? And, you know, up pops all this FBI gear. It's like, perfect. It's like the release, it's the escape in plain sight, really. So overall, Ant-Man and the Wasp is a lot of fun to watch. This takes place just leading up to Infinity War. In fact, there's a mid-credit scene where Scott goes into the quantum realm to get, you know, quantum particles to help out Ghost, and when they're getting ready to bring him back, Thanos strikes and obviously wipes out half of all life. So Hank, Janet, and Hope are reduced to dust, and Scott is trapped in the quantum realm. So of course, then we all know what happens. He comes back in Endgame and or gets freed in Endgame, and everyone comes back in Endgame and the whole thing. But that's maybe one for another time. umming and ahhing if I'm going to dive deeper into the MCU. I may not, but if I do, I might just do like the individual franchises. I won't do the whole thing as you know, all 21 movies now, because I've already done Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp. So there's still like, you know, 21 movies to go. I may do them in their little subsections. Like I may do the Thor trilogy, I may do the Iron Man trilogy, I may do the Captain America trilogy, I'll maybe do the Avengers. We will see. Obviously, I love the MCU movies. I think they are absolutely fantastic. I have every single one of them, almost every single one of them on Blu-ray. The only one that I have on DVD is the original Ant-Man. Minor detail, neither here nor there. But still, yes, I recommend pretty much nearly everything from the MCU. If I was to pick one standalone out of them all, I would maybe just say Ant-Man and the Wasp, but you'd have to watch Ant-Man and Captain America Civil War anyway to sort of get the gist. Maybe Guardians of the Galaxy or Iron Man. That'd be the two I'd actually suggest people start off with. Guardians of the Galaxy and Iron Man. Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. So yeah, thank you all so much for checking out this review. The next time we are in the vault, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Is going to be 2013's independent Truth or Dare. I'd never heard of this movie. I watched it the other night with my partner April, and when we both look at each other and say the exact same thing of this is F word, and she's not a big horror fan anyway, I am. And when we're both looking at each other, we both think the same thing. Oh, yeah. I think there's a lot more negatives I have with that movie than there will be positives. I guarantee it. But we will get into that next time around. So, please make sure you hit that like button, you click on subscribe, and you click that notification cowbell. You select all so you'll be alerted to when a new video drops, and I will see you all in the vault next time around. Thank you so much. Peace out. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out the video. If you like what you see, click that subscribe button. Make sure you dangle that notification cowbell. You can hit me up on all of my social medias, which will be down in the description box below. And I shall see you all next time around.